Good day, Shiners. This is Dakshana back here with some interesting things about fear. Fear is considered to be one of the disease according to human beings, but that disease can be easily thrown out by ourselves. Watch the video till the end and now let's get started. First of all, fear is actually an unpleasant feeling arised due to danger or some imaginations. It causes anxiety and loss of courage. According to psychology, fear is a natural and powerful human emotion. It is said to be powerful because this fear affects you not only mentally but also physically. As you know, during the times of fear, our body undergoes blood pressure and heart rate differences. Yes, fear is physical. To start with the fact, when analyzing various different fears which humans face in our lives, remember that there are only two fears that humans are born with. One is the fear of loud noises and another one is fear of falling down. But there are a lot of the most common fears like fear of spiders, fear of height, and the fear of isolation, aloneness, fear of shame, and fear of changes which happen in our life. And now the most common one is fear of death due to this COVID. But when we get deep into all these fears, we can analyze that people get more fears which are even unconscious, like fear of making wrong decisions. You probably spend a lot of time doing research and getting organized, and you always keep tweaking things right until the last minute because you are afraid of making wrong decisions. People hate making mistakes and fear of what other people will think. The fear that holds you back is a fear of being judged and fear of getting people down because you care a lot of what other people will think. And what we fear the most is rejection. And so, what happens? We will push away all the people around us and reject all of them before they reject us. And the most occurring fear, fear of not being enough. You face a lot of insecurities because in deep down in your heart you are so afraid of not being enough and not being capable of. For example, you will be the person who spend a lot of hours practicing the most amazing presentation but never actually present it because you are so afraid of not being enough and not being so good. And people are afraid of being blamed too. And the other most occurring fear is fear of losing relationships. We the people tend to doubt the other persons and other relationships unnecessarily only because we are afraid of losing that person. But what happens, only because of that doubtfulness or only because of that fear we lose that relationship. But what happens after all these fears? This, as a result, you can struggle with setting boundaries or saying no. But this also impacts you with the thinking and decision making in negative ways too. See, there is a positive side too. An interesting truth about this fear is short scare bursts can have positive impacts like it strengthens your immune system. At the moment, when consumed by the fear, we become more alert and we become more conscious and even more sharper. So fear protects us from the danger because we become alert. And it has a, yes, it has a positive side too, but more than taking this as a positive one, thinking that this is a negative one and trying to overcome this will be the best way to reduce the risks of danger. Now, how to overcome that fear? Overcoming the fear is always facing it. Now, I wish to convey a message of Sadhguru. He says, fear is happening only because of excessive imagination in our minds. Imagining something that would never happen. Just we are creating some things. Take it 100 things that you are afraid of, like you're creating in your minds. Most probably that 99 would never happen, isn't it? So he says that fear is always about which does not exist. Your fear doesn't have to control you. It's all happening subconsciously, like beneath the surface. We don't know what's happening actually. we are experiencing this as a truth, but the minute you can identify and start understand how your fear is showing up, that is the minute you can start to do something about it, because what was subconscious becomes conscious now, and you can start to do something about it, to how to overcome that, or how to face that. Some other ways can be like, talk everything and share everything about your fear about your to your closed ones, like your family, your friends. This may make you to feel better. Or you can self talk, self motivate. You can be bold and strong enough to face everything. Bring some positive vibes in your mind. But all these can be like making you to feel better, but the only way to face it is, you should not bring the unnecessary thoughts and unnecessary imaginations about what's going to happen in your mind. And this is what we actually call as fear, thinking of something which is never going to happen. We are afraid of the things that we are never happen. Remember that you cannot fight or you cannot overcome the thing which does not exist. So finally, dear shiners, like what Sadhguru says, fear is like horror movies you're producing in your mind, but no one's going to watch it. Remember that it's bad for the producer. Else, create some positive and happy movies in your mind and lead a healthier and joyful life. That's it, shiners. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Be positive and bold to face everything in your lives. All the very best for all your futures from the Sunshine Organization. Thank you, and I'll meet you again in the next video.